My name is Emma, and I never thought I would have to tell this story. I always thought death was something distant, something we only see in movies or read about in books, something so far removed from my life. But on a day like any other, I realized something. Death isn't as distant as we think. It can happen to anyone at any moment. That morning, the weather was perfect, nothing out of the ordinary. Mum called me for breakfast, but I didn't want to get up. I just wanted to pull the covers over my head and sleep a little longer. Scrolling through my phone, I read a few messages from friends, searching for something fun, something meaningless. Death isn't my problem, I thought, and then life went on as usual. Until the car hit me. 1 second and everything was gone, no pain, nothing, just absolute silence. I didn't know I had died, but I could feel the cold, the emptiness, and then there was a light. It wasn't the blinding light I had imagined, but a soft, faint light. Warm in a strange way. I didn't understand it, but at that moment I didn't feel scared. A strange sense of peace enveloped me. Emma, you don't have to be afraid. At that moment I couldn't answer. It wasn't just a question, it was like a knife cutting into my heart. I looked back at my life, the decisions I made, the actions I thought were unimportant, the words I thought would never affect anyone. I had lived a life without purpose. I hadn't paid attention to those around me, hadn't lived true to myself. You can change, Emma. He didn't need to say more. Those words echoed in my mind. I had lived a meaningless life, but now it was time to change. An opportunity to do the right thing, not just for me, but for those I love. And then, he showed me images. Loved ones, friends, people I had unknowingly hurt, lives I had neglected. They all appeared before me like a film I couldn't turn off. Every decision, no matter how small, could change someone's fate. You can save others, Emma. His voice was soft, but it held urgency. Those words woke me up. I realized that every action I take matters. Every choice can change someone else's life. I couldn't live without purpose anymore. Time is running out, Emma. His voice rang out once more, this time filled with a sense of urgency. And then, I felt myself being pulled away, as if some invisible force was bringing me back to my body. When I woke up, I wasn't the Emma I once knew. Everything I had seen, everything I had experienced, it was still vivid in my mind. I couldn't live the same way anymore. I couldn't continue drifting through life without paying attention to what truly mattered, because I had seen, I had understood, and now I had to change. If you're reading this, I want you to understand one important thing. Time won't always be on your side. Don't wait until it's too late to realize the things that matter most.
When I woke up, I was in the hospital. The cold air, the beeping monitors, the sterile smell of antiseptic, it all hit me like a wave. But more than that, there was a heaviness in my chest, a sense that I was not the same person who had entered that car earlier. I had died. For a few moments, I had truly died. And yet, I was here, alive. But I wasn't sure how to feel. I should have been grateful to be breathing, but there was a part of me that felt lost. Like I didn't belong in this life anymore. Not because I had died, but because the person who had come back wasn't the person I was before. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything I had seen. Jesus' words echoed in my head. You can change, Emma. The more I thought about it, the more I understood. I couldn't go back to the life I had before, the life where I focused on myself, on my own wants and desires, without considering the impact on others. No, I had to do better. I had to live for something greater than myself. The next few days were a blur of visitors, doctors, and endless questions. But I couldn't focus on any of it. My mind was elsewhere, on what had happened, on the message I had received. The first real breakthrough came when my best friend Lily came to see me. She was worried, of course. I could see it in her eyes. But as we sat together, something changed. She started telling me about her struggles, her fears, her hopes, her disappointments. She was talking about things that, before my near-death experience, I would have brushed off. But now I couldn't ignore them. I listened, truly listened, to every word she said. And for the first time in my life, I realized that her pain, her joy, her struggles, they mattered. I wasn't just living for myself anymore. I had to live for those around me too. After Lily left, I sat in my room, thinking about the people in my life. People I had neglected. People I had taken for granted. I knew I had to make things right. I had to apologize for the times I'd been selfish, for the moments I'd been blind to the feelings of others. That night, I took out my phone. I typed out a message to my mom, my dad, my brother, everyone who I had pushed away in my quest for my own happiness. I'm sorry. I see now how much I've taken for granted. Please know that I'm trying to be better. I want to be the person you need me to be. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Over the next few weeks, I began to change. I reached out to the people I had hurt. I listened to the stories of those I had ignored, and I started to act in ways that reflected the person I wanted to become. But it wasn't easy. Every day was a battle. There were moments when I wanted to slip back into my old habits, when I wanted to be selfish again. But then I would remember the light, the voice of Jesus, and the feeling of peace that had flooded me in that moment. I couldn't go back to the way I was. One afternoon, I sat in the park looking at the sunset, reflecting on everything that had changed. I felt a deep sense of gratitude, but also a lingering sense of urgency. Time is running out. I didn't know how much time I had, but I knew one thing. I couldn't waste it. I couldn't waste another second. Not for me, and not for the people I had failed. I felt the shift inside of me. I felt the weight of the words Jesus had spoken to me, and for the first time, I felt a real purpose. Not one built on selfish desires or shallow dreams, but one that was about love, connection, and making things right. I was still Emma, but I wasn't the same Emma. And I wasn't just going to live. I was going to live with intention. And I was going to make sure that my life, my second chance, meant something.